Cool. Okay, so where we left off last time was we basically implemented everything using Registry and a Dynamic Supervisor. I can't remember why we didn't merge this though. But I think for now we can continue on with the plan to create some endpoints for this. And pretty much get rid of the old queues module and just, you know, maybe split this off into its own domain and just use the queue manager under the hood. And then maybe remove the queues that we use here. It's like join queue, leave queue, and just change these implementations. Instead of using the repo here, we just use the whatchamacallit, the GenServer setup. That's something I want to look into. So let's just go over the previous code that we've written, because I skipped last time. I think we skipped 2 Tech Wednesdays because either I wasn't here or there was something else. So we swapped out ETS lookup by doing a registry call. We used the queues registry to monitor the queues. Why did we do that again? Why did we do that? Dynamic Supervisor. Let's see. I think the reason for that was that why did we do that? Because we have the one for all, so if one crashes, the other one would continue. So why did we do this again? I can't remember. Was it in the guide? Elixir lang. Maybe it wasn't a guide. To continue on in this. Let's see, what was at the bottom here? In practice, you find yourself in a position where you need a project's registry for dynamic process. You should use the registry module provided as part of Elixir. It provides functionality similar to the ones we've built with GenServer and ETS. Right. Okay, so basically, we've done things manually using a GenServer and ETS, but there is already something for registry called registry. But the only problem we had with using registry rather than building it ourselves was the fact that we kind of use names, like global namings, like queues registry, like the atom for that. And finding the registry PID by this atom rather than keeping it within this. So like if we create 2 managers, they will use the same registry, which makes it harder to test. But it is better to it is better because we're using registries that are literally built to literally built for this purpose rather than like rolling our own, because they have some built-in functionality like proper monitoring and everything. It's like here, being able to perform both writes and reads concurrently. And so I think it makes sense to use what the language ecosystem gives us. The only downside for that is that since we're using global registry names, global atoms to reference these, our test is also global. So we'll need to like clean up all of the registries afterwards. And so if we look at the code, let's see if we can get this merged in. So we have our regular manager. So let's hold up. Let's like mind map this a little bit out here. Because this queue manager here is just the queue module probably. That's what we're gonna replace soon. So like instead of all of these calls, we're actually going to, oh, sorry, this one. Instead of all these calls, we're actually going to reference using the queue here. I've heard that it's good to have the cam on the right side though, as the chat is also on the right side. I don't understand what you mean. So you switch between chat face. I don't know what you mean. Let me think. So let's mind model this a little bit. So we have currently a application. The application spawns a supervisor, which is viewer game queue supervisor. This is like the whole thing. This is like the whole queues ecosystem lives inside this supervisor. Like if we kill that one, we kill all of the underlying queues. Then inside of the supervisor, we spawn a registry, which is called queues registry. And we spawn a queues manager. The registry is holding the names. Let's see, what do we use the registry for? Okay, we had that here. Manager, inside the manager. We look up the streamer in the registry. So the registry contains streamers and their PIDs. So like a list of queues. Okay. List. So basically, streamer name. Is this like a mapping between streamer name and queue PID? And then the manager is just the high level. Shit, what was this dynamic supervisor again? No, this is the, wait, the dynamic supervisor is what this is. Then what is get a queue, create a queue. So when we create a queue, how does it add it to the registry and why? So this one is module. This is itself. So the manager itself is a dynamic supervisor, which creates a queue. So the manager contains all the queues. The registry contains all the mappings between a streamer name and... No, but why are we using the name here? Or is this the way to map it? Oh man, I can't remember. Let's go and read again. If you're just out of it for a second, you just forget. Supervisor, dynamic supervisor start in this supervisor a bucket. Right, so the queue doesn't know for which streamer we use it for, but now we do, because we said if you start a queue, you can pass it a name. Why did we do that? Why did we do that? What's up, Luna? Oh, we have it now? Distance is smaller? Oh, you mean like when you're watching it on Twitch, the stream is next to the streamer. I don't think it makes any sense, to be honest. I think that doesn't make any sense. What I do think is good is when you're looking at chat that you're actively looking away so that chat knows when you're watching. I don't think it matters if I look at this side and then go to the main screen, or this side. I don't think it really matters psychologically, but yeah, I don't know. Let me just think here. So a queue, why do we need to have the stream name when we create a queue? Because we also have one where we don't do that. What was the reason for that? Why did we do that? Because we're not using it anywhere else. In case of a name, you're passing a name, error, start link normally. Which we could have just also called this, but... Oh, we're still using default too. Otherwise, start it with the name. Why? Make sure the queue never restarts. I don't understand. Proc name via registry streamer. Proc name. Oh, hold up. I think this is the magic. This is the magic that I've been missing. So when we created a child, when we spawn a queue, the name is not the streamer. It's we tell it to create it through the registry mapping. Right. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so when you have a queue GenServer, you can pass it a name, and if you pass it to the GenServer, it will register itself inside the registry. That's why our start child here does not actually register the PID yourself. It does that already via the start child call. Probably because if something goes wrong with starting the child, it will probably do some magic and also cleaning it up properly, I suppose. So let's just follow that standard. Okay, so I didn't like that very much, that the fact that our queue kind of, when it initializes the GenServer, that it needs to know about the name. But you know, that's okay. If that's how the language wants to go and handle it, then I guess that's just how we handle it. Okay, so our manager is a dynamic supervisor that yeah, so dynamic supervisors for creating an amount of children, like an unknown amount, because normally, yeah, I think so. That holds all queues via the registry. When creating a queue, we start link on the queue and do this via the queues. That looks weird. Queues registry. Making sure that the mapping is created. And then we have queues queue, which is a GenServer that contains the state of a queue for a particular streamer. And so if we want to probably make sure that we don't have to update the whole queues module, we can probably use player IDs instead and then get the player from the database. Because that allows us to... Ooh. Probably need to store some more data. You teach me how to be the ultimate Boyd fangirl. what I was thinking is that when you join a queue and you were to change your Twitch name, damn. If you update your Twitch name, you still have the Twitch ID, so logging into the server will be fine. Like, we have your user in the DB. All your connected accounts are still fine. And so when they join this thing, yeah. What I wonder, and maybe chat knows, if you were to join a viewer game of a streamer with a particular username, like let's say you're joining in with Wolfie Filthyarn as your league name, right? So let's say you're streaming League of Legends and you're joining some streamer. If you look back at your previous joined viewer games like a year later and you've changed your league name, would you still want to see Wolfie Filthyarn, or would you want to see your new updated like league name? So let's say 1 year, like half a year later, Wolfie Filthyarn renames to Wolfie Chan. And then 1 year later, Wolfie goes to see his old joined viewer games. Does Wolfie want to see Wolfie Filthyarn because that's the username that he had at the time, or does he want to see Wolfie Chan because that's what his current League of Legends name is? The problem with that is that if Wolfie ever deletes his League of Legends account from... Yeah, if he ever deletes his League of Legends account, disconnects it from his, like, viewer game account, then we don't know his username anymore. So I think it is good that if somebody joins a viewer game, we pre-fill sort of the in-game name for them based on the data that we already have. Otherwise, use the Twitch name, probably. So, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Hi, boy, we love you, even if your stream makes me want to sleep. That's good, though. It's good timing for you. What's up, you doing? I think that makes sense. I think we should store... Whenever a player joins a queue, I think we should store the username at that time. For now, we're using Twitch usernames, so maybe we should get rid of the player ID altogether. Yeah. I think this shouldn't be on the queues module. I think this should all be like... Yeah, this is something I just have to figure out. I just wonder how people do this, because I've watched like a lot of Elixir talks, and I'm not 100% sure. People always talk about like how your top level module names should be like representing the sort of like domain model that is behind it. So like if we're talking about the domain of queues, you should be able to do like all the work in here, and they should never touch these lower level modules because these are only to be used in these top level modules. The thing with that is that it's weird. It is weird because these modules can grow like ginormously. I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like if you're modeling a domain and you have one top level module that contains everything, you can obviously split this off into lower level modules, but like your top level is going to be huge. That's what I'm wondering. Like all this logic shouldn't be in here. Like this should just be top level like methods that you can call. But yeah, sub Bardock. Sub Lily. How was your stream, Lily? I just heard from Wolfie that you were streaming. Why would you want to view the games you participated in a year ago? Good question. So my initial idea was that it could actually be cool to be able to see that. But maybe you don't really want... Maybe you don't really want to see, like, the details. Maybe you're right. Maybe, like, it's not that important. Maybe it's just important that the player has played with this person. Doesn't necessarily need to know, like, the username that they used at the time, you know, like, doesn't really matter that much. Probably makes sense for the streamer to be able to know your username, but the rest of it doesn't really make any sense. The reason I think that would be cool is that based on the data that you gather with this, you can build some sort of player build some sort of player profile, being like yearly statistics of this player, you know, like, hey, you participated in this amount of viewer games, you've won this amount of games, because that's like the platform that I kind of want to go for, and I have no idea if that's like something people are looking for. But I think if you give them that sort of incentive, or like if you give them that sort of insight, it might be interesting to join in on those viewer games. And also it's cool that like you've explored new streamers, or like you've explored new you've played in X amount of new like streams to incentivize people joining in on viewer games and have some more fun. Haven't fully thought this out yet, but I thought it would be just cool if through just using the platform, we can first of all rule out some of the streamer problems that we have identified, which is if we build like player profiles, we can easily identify the trolls, and then the streamer could in theory like set up rules for their stream whether they want to have trolls join their viewer games based on like their past behavior, right? So like if we know that like a viewer has like joined 10 viewer games, and like in 9 of them they've trolled, and all the streamers have flagged this person as, I don't want this, you know, viewer to be in my viewer games anymore, or they've reported them, you can build some sort of safe way for a streamer to host viewer games and not have some of the problems that they have today. Question is though, is whether people are looking for that. That I don't know. I just know that it's a problem. So like based on the questionnaires that I send out and the interviews that I've done with streamers, that's what I've heard. The question is though, is whether that's actually stopping them today to do viewer games or not. And so that's just something to figure out. But I think if see a way to abuse this, or can we only report if he joins? I don't know. There is a way to abuse this, yeah. So like if you have a friend and you join this friend's viewer game and then you report him, you can, or like have some sort of fake viewers and you just mark your own friend as like a bully. But the thing is, they're connected with your Twitch account, so like there's no real reason why you would do that for your friend other than to fuck yourself over. It's like, sure, you can do that, but like a viewer can only be tied to a player once that player has been connected through Twitch. So like we will allow for people to join, but we will only connect their Twitch account and have them as part of the system if they actually register. Maybe, I don't know actually, because in theory I think 90% of our viewers will not register to the website. They will just join through the chat probably. But sup, Lars? What would be your way to abuse this? I'm ready for 9 days of real vacation. Where are you going, Jeroen? I have no idea. I have no idea if people are going to use this or whether this is like relevant for people, but I think if you say you can report a player so he gets flagged as troll. Yeah, like as a streamer, right? So like as a streamer, you're like, you have a group in your queue. Let me just boot up the server. So if you make multiple streamer accounts, you can still report this person because you need to join first. So here's the thing, right? If you're a streamer and you join through the Twitch chat bot, I can guarantee that you're the owner of this user, right? So I can validate that you are who you are. That's one way of joining the viewer game. The second way of joining a viewer game is through the website. Is like going to a streamer's profile, joining their viewer game queue. Right? So let me show you what that looks like. It's been a while since, I have no idea if this is still working, but let's see. Hello. Okay. Okay, I'm logged in. I can't remember if these routes worked already. Yes. Okay. So you can join a queue by connecting your Twitch account, which means that I know that you are like, you are who you are, and you are you are legit, right? And so like this means I can build you a player profile, right? I can also, this is what I was thinking of. I can also allow you to create a non-registered account. So like if streamers are like, I don't want to put them on this burden of connecting with their Twitch account, I just want them to fill in a random username and that's how they can connect. That's fine. Maybe that's a setting. But in this case, we won't even build a player profile for them because we don't care about them. You know, like we just add them to the viewer game list as a user. We don't tie them to any players. That's just what it is. So this player is just joining the viewer game, but it doesn't have a player account. It's just like a nobody. It's a nobody. It doesn't get tracked anywhere. It doesn't get connected to any players. That's just it. It's just a user with a username. And then if you do connect, then we can start building you a player account, because this means that we know that that is you, and you can fuck yourself over by adding by joining your friend as a streamer, like as a viewer, and then them reporting you. So like you cannot just like report other people. Your friends can only report people that actually legitimately joined your viewer game, or that have legitimate accounts. So like that kind of rules out that sort of problem where you could flag anybody. You can flag anybody that has been in your queue, but they have to join your queue in the first place. And if you allow non-registered users, you cannot flag those, because they're like, we don't know who they are, we don't know what they are, we don't care. You took on that risk, so like you just go with it. And so this is currently using the DB, but this is what I want to move for the sake of just this app and for the sake of just trying this out. I just want to move this to an API, make the API more robust, and then use like GenServers that are coming with the language to create these short-lived queues. So currently we won't gather any statistics or anything. We'll just be creating short-lived queues that we can throw up and tear down every single time somebody starts or stops streaming. just to see how this performs, because I'm very, very curious about these GenServers, and it's very powerful like construct. I just haven't worked enough with them yet, and I think when we have that, and when we have it tied up to the website too, we can just, you know, deploy it somewhere and see how it performs, and see if we can get some telemetry data and monitor the shit a little bit. I watched some talks on like how somebody made it, how somebody deployed an Elixir app with all the power of Elixir using Kubernetes too. So like, even though we're using Phoenix here, and you can easily, in theory, just, you know, deploy a Phoenix app using Kubernetes. I'm still very curious how like we can share this like sort of queue state on multiple servers. And so that's just something to figure out. But for now, we're just probably gonna learn some Terraform later, deploy one app, bootstrap one server, deploy it there, see how it runs, see how it performs, get some statistics, and see if we can trace it, see if we can crash some of these GenServers on the fly, and see how it goes. But yeah, let's first just make sure that we review this PR that we had. Let's merge it, and then let's see if, I think we've written the tests using the DB, which is kind of sad. So like, we've mocked out the DB and stuff. Or not. Let me check, actually. So we have some tests. Not sure if we have web tests for this, but I think our API should be tested. So you can see we are authenticating with the API. We're doing a index list. So we have an index route. Maybe we should actually rename this so we can actually have a better sense. But like, we can check that if we go to the v1 queue players path with the streamer slug, we should get back the queued players for this stream. And the queued players, yeah, so this is what I was talking about. So this is actually inserting 3 records of queued player in the database, using the factory. So queued player factory. Yeah, so this will create a player, and it will create a queue, and then it will, you know, link these two together. But in this case, we already created a queue for a streamer. The problem with this is that this factory is creating it in the DB, while in our case, we want to sort of rewrite it using not the DB. I want to use the GenServers for this, but I think in theory we can sort of let's see, actually, because this is what this is just doing, is creating a struct. Yeah, so maybe it is possible. Anyways, let's just get to it first. Let's just create these endpoints. We can write some tests for them. So let's see, what were we planning on doing? So we were planning on creating API v1 streamer name, queue, join, leave, pick, the queue itself. So this is sort of what we have here. Let me see what this route is. We have streamer queue players. Okay, so this is a different route, but it's sort of the same. It's like you have a queue, you can delete a queue, you can get a queue for a streamer. You can get the position of a username. You get the player start to end. So it's like just cursoring. And you cannot create a queue though. using this. So I guess you could say you do this. But then it will be queue ID, but you can only have one queue. So yeah. Or maybe there is always a queue. So like as soon as the first person joins, we create the queue, and then when the first person leaves, we clean the queue. That would be kind of problematic. When do we decide? Okay, this is what we had in mind, right? So let's just first build these endpoints and then figure out the cleanup, because I think I remembered that here expires after no activity for 1 hour. So we need a supervisor that kills all the non-active or no activity generated queues after 1 hour. What's up, Edbelech? How's it going? What's up, SPO? But let's look at that after. Let's look at it after. We can figure that out after. We can do the optimization later. It doesn't really matter. So, okay. So this is our queue manager. We have our queues module here that already has these join queue and leave queue by queue ID, by player ID. So let's just create a new module. Queues new.ex, just, you know, for the sake of it. Just for the sake of it. Cool. It's kind of ugly, but that's okay. Okay, so what we should be able to do is, I don't even know if we need this higher level module, because in theory, like, these are kind of straightforward. Maybe it's... I'm good. Graduated 2 weeks ago. Enjoying my time off. Wow, nice. Congrats. Graduated uni? Graduated high school? Congrats regardless. Nice job. Going with 8 friends to a place between Zaandam and Alkmaar. Ooh. Nice. Okay, let's just do the same, sort of. Find queue by player. So let's do find queue by streamer. Streamer name. And that's one. And then we have join queue. We don't need that. So when you join a queue, we can do it high level, right? So we can do streamer name, viewer name for now. But maybe we should make some models for this so we can actually use these. But for now, let's just do this. You know, let's just do this for now. So if we do create queue, let's do that first. So let's do CRUD first, right? We can get queue. Get queue. Let's just make this simple. Get queue. Or maybe since we're already in the domain of queues, does it make sense to make this just get? Let's just make it a little bit verbose. That's okay. So if you create a queue for a streamer, we want this to be relatively safe. Then we do a delete queue, streamer name. This is not something that the module itself will really do. And then we have all the actions we can perform on them, right? So if we get a queue, what we really get is the players in the queue. Get players in queue. Welcome to the graduate club. Now have fun looking for a job. I've been there. COVID time's not the most fun time to search for jobs. Can delete a queue, and then we can join a queue. We can join a queue, we can leave queue, streamer name, viewer name. We can... What else can we do? We have more things we can do. Queue.ex. Join, leave, get all the players' position. Get position of viewer. So maybe, I think we've been talking a lot about players, so maybe it should be like player name. Yeah, let's do that. So position of player for queue. Position for queue. Okay, maybe get position is good enough. We have pick players, streamer name, count, and then clear. Okay, so we have some sort of, we have a subset here, like, right? So this is like CRUD actions, and this is like the player actions almost. This is like streamer actions. This is player actions. And the top one is also. So we still need a get queue. Streamer name. And then if we get a queue, it will be very easy to get the viewers of the queue. Because when we get the queue, we can just call queue on it. So I think we don't need these methods. This is just getting the queue. Create a queue, deleting the queue. Yeah, so what we're gonna do here is we get the manager. And then we do manager dots. So maybe just do this. Let me see, hold up. We have the supervisor, and then what do we do in our tests again? Manager get queue. Create a streamer. Create queue. Okay. So sort of we're just like proxying these requests. It's like what we're doing is get queue, create queue, destroy queue. But we're just doing it in a top level module. So what we can also do is not do this and then just call the lower level module. Maybe that makes more sense. So, okay, let's do that. So we already have the endpoint, right? We have the queue endpoint. Or is it queue players? Router players. Okay, nice. Cool. Okay, let's create a new endpoint then. Controllers, API, v1, queue, controller. Why do I do PHP? It's like too much. Okay. Sorry, I missed out on a lot of messages. It's annoying that everybody's looking for people with experience. I've had some experience during my education as well, around 2 years as a part-time developer. I could also go back to old work, but I don't know yet. Wasn't really challenging. Do you guys actually have trouble like finding jobs because everybody's looking for experience? Because in theory, people always put 2 years of experience for everything, even for junior jobs, which is super weird. But you just apply anyways. Just apply. Sup? Oh god, here we go. Lynn. How's it going? I remember. How am I? I'm good. How are you? And what am I doing? I am building an app. Yeah. Yep. I am building an app. Or an app. And I'm building a web application, a website, a web platform for streamers. Okay, let's take this, yeet it in here. Now we're on the queue page of a streamer, because here's the route, right? API v1, player count, queues, player struct queue, player, blah, blah, blah. Boom, like this. Only index for now. Sounds good to me. So we get the player slug here. And then we find the player by slug. This is the weird bit. Because this is not the player slug, actually. This is the streamer. Why are we searching for players here? I actually don't know. So this is kind of weird. Okay. Anyhow. Streamers. Streamer. What do we call it here? Also player slug. Oh, interesting. Ew, not a fan of that. That's something for change, I think. I'm already not a fan of this, and I wrote this like, I don't know. Wrote this like a year ago. I'm already not a fan of this. Okay, so we got to find the queue. So here we have the queue, but we also need to model this in some shape. So I guess we'll just make a temporary struct here and we'll just show it. So when we do a get call, when we want to get API v1 streamer queue, what we want to get back is some information about the queue, I suppose. So like created at date players distro cats Bob Ross etc. Do we actually care about the created at date? I don't think we really do. Maybe we can do like streamer ID. Be like 1, 2, 3. I'm good. Fell asleep while cuddling with my boyfriend and accidentally kicked him, so I feel a bit guilty, but other than that, I'm fine. Nice. Updated ads. I think when we have a queue, I think we have a game. Because the streamer is streaming a game. This is like what I never understood. Should the queue be tied to a game that the streamer is playing? Like, if I'm streaming and I'm doing viewer games and then I switch games halfway through the stream, would I want the queue to be wiped? Or do I want... Or do I just not care? I think I don't care. I think the streamer Like the queue does not care about the game. But if we do add the game, then we can have specific rules per game. But let's not overcomplicate this just now. Since we don't store the created at, we don't really care. So let's just have this as the payload for now. Just a list of players. That's all we care about. Make it not harder than it is. Okay, so now we ask the queues manager to find me the... We don't even care about this player, really. Maybe it's good to check if the player exists or not. That might be better. And then we do queues. So this should be a top level module queues, but we don't have that right now. So I guess we can add it here. Let's just add it here, actually. Dev find queue by... Oh, here we're referencing my player ID. Maybe that is better. I don't think you need to wipe it because it makes it fair for the ones waiting. That's what I'm thinking too, yeah. I think it makes sense for the streamer to decide what to do with it, right? Maybe he's just gonna... He or she is just going to, yeah, keep on going with the queue. Anyways, I'm heading to the couch. All right, catch you later, Wolfie. Thanks so much for hanging out. Okay, so I think we might eventually move this to streamer to player ID rather than streamer name, but you know, sure. Let's just go with streamer name for now. Streamer name. Do alias viewergames.queues.manager. I'm not a fan of that manager thing, but what was the manager thing called? The methods? Get queue. Oh, okay. Okay, we have streamer name, I think that's what we called it. Streamer slug. Let's call it streamer. Oh, but then it will conflict if we actually create a streamer model, right? So let's just call it streamer name. We could also do, what we could also do is add a middleware that already does this call, because literally every single controller is going to have this call. Because all of these routes are like API v1 streamers, streamer name, continue. And so, yeah. You can't leave the queue if you want... If you don't want to play the game, you leave. Yeah, true. But also the streamer can just kick you. Do we have that in there actually? We have leave queue, so you could leave the queue as a streamer. Yeah. I'm sitting here and not understanding a thing. Yeah, I think actually that's what a lot of people have here. But this is when we get the queue here. This one. And then what we need to do is get the players. So this is probably what we want to have here, right? So if I find queue, what I should do here is do a bunch of the work that we don't want to do in the controller. So like there's a couple of cases. So like when this thing This can return me something. Error. So, oh, this is like that thing that I need to, that I don't fully understand yet. This is like the thing where you can combine sort of like cases together. Like prerequisites almost. I just don't know what that is. Let me find it. Protocols? No. That's not it. Maybe it is in condition. So case we know, but what if you have multiple? Can't remember what it's called. Module attributes. No. No. This? With? Ooh. I'm gonna go and get some food. Yo, enjoy your food. Can't remember what it is. Let me see if I can find it in an old email that I had, because there was like an article that I read. Elixir. Not sure on which email address I received these emails. Elixir. Let me see, let me see, let me see. Oh, where is that article? Luckily, the Elixir digest, the Elixir, there's like almost for every language, I think there's like emails, like newsletters you can subscribe to, which is very nice. So I would highly recommend, if you have your favorite language, to subscribe to some sort of newsletter to stay up to date with the language, new language features, or like cool articles and learning more. Good and bad Elixir. I think this is it. Okay, yeah, I think this is it. Good and bad Elixir. Yes, so here we go. So this guy's seen a lot of Elixir, different, like what is good and what is bad to do. So I think it might be a good idea to just look at this. Don't pipe results into following functions. So call service, parse result, handle result. Using pipes forces our functions to handle the previous function's results, spreading error handling throughout our various function calls. The core problem here is subtle, but it's essential to internalize. Each of these functions has to know too much information about how it's being called. Good software design is mainly about building reusable bits that can arbitrarily be composed. In the pipeline example, the functions know how they are used. Yeah. When dealing with side effects, the only function with enough information to decide what to do with an error is the calling function. In many systems, the error cases are just as important, if not more important, than a happy path. The error cases are where you're going to have to perform fallbacks or graceful degradation. So here, they do double cases. So this is what I was thinking about doing, but this is fairly complex. Don't pipe into case statements. Don't hide higher order functions. But let me find the thing that I wanted to. This. With. So. Avoid else and with blocks. Else can be helpful if you need to perform an operation that is generic across all error values being returned. You should not use else to handle all potential errors, or even large number of errors. For the same reason, under no circumstances should you annotate your function calls with a name, just so you can differentiate with them. If you find yourself doing this, that means the error conditions matter, which means that you don't want with at all. You want case. With is best used when you can fall through at any point without worrying about a specific error or contrary pattern. A good way to create a more unified way to deal with errors is to build a common error type, like so. My app error, new, not found internal, and then okay, so here's the module with okay, decode error, and then it creates an internal. Okay, so right. So you know, like if you do an else statement, that what you get back is an error here. Yeah. The main struct above provides a unified way to surface all of the errors in your application. Right. So now, if you call this, you can now pattern match on the error, and you always know that you get an error here. Like an error, like, exception. This is what I was wondering. Maybe that's what we need, but let's just see what we get from the code first. So we have a case in which we get okay. How do we do that again? Okay PID back. And then what we want to do with that PID is pipe it and use it in queues. Q dot players? No, so here is where we want to build the thing. So if we have a PID already for the get queue call, let's think here for a second. Let's just create the struct real quick. Or like a map, sorry. So what we return here would be the interface that we defined here. Streamer PID. Which we don't have, actually, because... yeah, we don't have that because we're doing it by streamer name, which was the problem. But we do have the players. So let's get the players. So we do queues dot queue dot. Let's clear this out. players PID. And then if there is an error case, because what we get back from this, it just calls the GenServer. And otherwise we could receive an error back. And in that case, what we return is error. Okay, sorry, we need to return here. Okay. With the thing. Or error. And we say not found. But what do we do if we do a repo this? No result error. Unauthenticated. Okay, I don't know yet. Let's see. Let's just see what it does. Let's clear some of these files out. Because a find queue by streamer name either gives us okay, like okay, and then the player, or error not, and then the error message, sort of. Like the error tuple. So like, let's just case on that. So this should be queues. Find queue by streamer name. Streamer name. If the case is okay, queue, we do render JSON, and then we do queue is this thing. And then if we do error case, not found, we do render con not found .json, and then that's it. Pretty much what we're doing. We don't even use the player here, but this like fails the case if the player doesn't exist. So let's open Postman. Oh shit, we already had one there. Compiler. Okay, what's the compiler? Player slug. Q controller EX. Player slug. Oh yeah, here. Okay. It's got an access token. And then use it in here to go streamers, streamer name Q. Undefined function error. Get by player slug is not defined because we're calling. Oh, we're not importing players. Render 2 is undefined. Queue view is unavailable. Yep, because we didn't make that. What's up, Lavra? How is you? So what we pass in is a queue. And then we format it in a way that is queue, and then... Oh, wait, we can do it like this. Hold up. We can do queue and player ID. Streamer ID. Huh. Sick. Streamer ID. Streamer ID. And then we do streamer ID, and we do players is the queue dot players. That works for now. Oh. We can get rid of this. Enum with index. Player JSON. Position. Oh. Okay, I didn't know we did that. But we also showed the position, because I suppose that's just the index. Okay, we also have dev render not found.json, which is going to just be what do we do for errors actually? Oh, here. Status 404. Queue could not be found. Queue for streamer could not be found. How do I do that? Sprint F Elixir. Or like string interpolation. Oh, okay, sweet. Oh, we don't have the streamer name here. Okay, let's just do this for now. Queue players view. Queue players view. Wait, that's not the file I was looking for. Router. Streamers queue. Why is it searching for queue players view? What? Oh, here. Queue view render 2, no matching clause. What? What is it trying to call with? Streamer name. Streamer name? Why? We're not even passing the streamer name. Oh, that's just the params of the endpoint. Yeah, okay. Queue controller. Render 2. How do I see? We are doing 2, no? I don't get it. This is 2. This is 2 arguments. Render. Queue view render 2. Why is this even here? Maybe, wait, is this needed? Hold up. I don't think so. That wouldn't make any sense. Oh. I don't even know why it's there. Sub-Zero. How's life, Lavra? Oh, you're good. Okay, my bad. How are you, Famalama? What? Are you talking to me? Are you gonna just meme on me again? Like suck on these or something? Are you just gonna do me like that again? What is going wrong here? X. Enter, and it's gonna say compiler error. Undefined streamer ID. IO inspect X. Compilation error. Yeah, no shit. No mention clause in render 2. How? Though. This is 2, no? API v1 Viewer Game Web API v1 QView. Erasers requests. Render 2. This is 2 arguments. Render. Wait, is this it? Oh, that's why. Right. Okay. So it wasn't doing the not found clause, but okay. Let's revert everything here. So what do we get back in here? Hold up. Maybe we do know the params. Params, yeah, streamer name. So we can do params streamer name. You sort of need some sort of error view here. Dev error. Oh, error helper. This is like HTML, or it uses HTML. Convenience for translating and building error messages. Cool. Status message. Can do that. Is this prettier? Maybe if we alias this, might be. Okay. Streamer cannot be found. Why does it not pattern match on this? Let's try this. I love the query that it's doing. Boom. Okay. That work? Undefined function streamer name. Right. Did I inspect the... Boom. Render 2 not found. Called with con. Ah, it's in con. That's why. Con. Params. And then match on streamer name. Streamer name. Seems a bit overkill for no real particular reason. Still didn't pattern match? What? Just con in general? Let's see. No, it's a map with con, and then we can do params. Okay. Okay, so we take the con out of it. And then we do streamer con.params.streamer name. It's very risky because... Oh. Yeah, I don't think this is worth it. I don't think this is worth it. We just do this. Because of the fact that if I change my router or router, depending on where you're from, if I change this to be, for example, streamer, then my view will complain because I tightly coupled my view with that like specific thing. Okay, this makes sense. So let's do a couple more. Create. Let's do a create as well. Create con. Streamer makes sense. Create. Streamer name. Do I have other controllers? Current player, yeah. Are we never sending data, or is this all inside of here too? Let's just see what it does, huh? Phoenix. Create endpoints. Okay. Red text looks scary. It is. It is. Ooh, telemetry. Okay, index, blah, 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 show, cool, create. You have an example of create? Are you serious? How do I know if this is like just params or whether that's also like payload? Where did my music go? Okay, we're fine. On messenger, assign, sure. Sure. I didn't actually know that if you assign, this is also sent to the view. Pretty neat. Didn't know that. I guess so, because I think you might, in the view, you might just get the whole connection. So you just assign something to there, but Eesh. A complicated one. Boom, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam. What do you mean fallback controller? Action fallback. Oh, that's cool. So that's how I can get rid of all of these if statements. Neato. That is neat. Then I need to make sure though that my thing returns an error. What's up, Dirk? How's you? Let's just try it out, huh? Let's just try it out. So, is there another argument here? Yo. Boom, boom, bam, boom, 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 bam. So if I do post streamer JustRockCat's queue, actually maybe 404 doesn't make a lot of sense here. So maybe this should just be this, and then an empty queue, but then the queue doesn't make sense, so this should be players. That would make more sense. And then here, this would be players. And then here, we should do queue.players. And then now if we do the get call, get rid of those. Just so that I don't accidentally leak my IP. So now if I do the call, this should be fine. Streamer ID 1, players none. Oh, also there's no top level. Realize that. Cool. So this makes sense. And then we don't really need to create a queue. That just needs to happen. When does it need to happen? When you want to join a queue, that's when you should create one, right? Find or create then. Because in theory, like, if we cannot find an existing one, we just assume it's empty. And then Okay, so that endpoint doesn't really make a lot of sense. This makes sense. That's all we have. But the create over queue doesn't make sense. Because the create is done when you want to... So let's just do join, huh? Let's just do join. Get. How does that work? Join. No, this should be a post. And then we have delete queue. And then we have, what else did we have? Leave. And pick. Okay, let's start with this. Let's start with this. Yes, let's go to queues. Let's say find or create queue by streamer name. This is like if there's none, then what we do. No, this is fine. This is fine. Find or create. And then what it should do... let me see. What do I want to do here? I'm wondering if I should apply this with pattern here. Because in any case, it should either find it, like get it through here, or create it. So that's what I'm thinking. So like if I do queue equals, or queue PID equals with, oh, whoops, with okay, no, I think this can work. If it finds it, return the PID. If it doesn't find it, then do a queues.manager.create queue streamer name. That gives you a PID, I think. Ooh, that's probably also a, like, error call. Yeah, already started. He already exists. The lookup is probably better than starting a child. I don't know which case is more often. Doesn't really matter. I don't know if I want to do nested cases, but seems a bit of a code smell, but okay, PID, return PID. If it cannot create, do we really want to do anything in that case? I don't think we really want to do anything when that happens. Then it just goes wrong. So I guess in that case, this should be with or not. Oh, I'm not proficient enough, man. I'm just not sure. Okay, let's just do happy path for now. If this goes wrong, you get a really weird error saying like not matching pattern, but that's okay. This should be okay for like error like this. I think. No, get queue is normally this, and then this should be okay, or yeah, okay. So now this is the queue PID, and then what we need to do is we need to, yeah, so this is fine. In any case, you get the PID back. And then into this. Error. Well, in case of anything else, really, we should want to do error. Could not create queue. Okay. So now what we're gonna have is join con streamer name do equals and get the player by slug case queues so this is kind of strange. Seems a bit strange to me. So this, when we're talking about a queue, we're giving back like a struct, but when we talk about it here, we get back a PID so we can perform further actions. Oh, that's what we were gonna do, yeah. Shit. But we need to join it. Okay, what do we need to do? We need queues. Okay. What we really need is join queue. We already have that, but we need one by streamer name. Oh, this is never gonna match, right? Because it's QID player ID. Yeah. Neo join queue. For now. Just checking. Player name. Do. So this will call queues dot finder created by streamer name queue PID. If it's not okay, then we just won't do anything. fine. I'm okay with this for now. Queues, and then we want to do is we want to queues.queue join queue. That's what we have. Use queue join PID player name. Yeah, okay. Was it just join? I think it was just join. Yeah. I don't know if this can even go wrong. I don't know what call returns, but in our case, it doesn't really matter. Yeah, let's roll with it. Join queue v2. Let's just roll with that. We'll roll with it for now. It's fine. We'll do a refactor after. So streamer name to player name. So I don't know how we get the params that we're sending, but let's just see if that's in here. Let's just make sure we have Bob Ross join. And then we render if this is okay. In our case, this is okay. And then what do we want? Kind of want to get the current data, I think. So this would be Q. And then we just return the same thing as we do above here. And then in case of error, that never happens really because we're doing this. And throw though. In case of anything else, render. View render error.json message or what was the error view thing that we did? JSON error. Oh, when we're doing a 404, I don't think we're even like rendering the right thing. But in this case, we're always finding something. Yeah, we need to see how we set that. In this case, let's just get the message in. Could not join the viewer game. Oh, let's see how it goes. So the get call is just giving us empty, but the post call, which is join queue, which is post queue join with as body form data or raw, doesn't really matter. Player name equals to Bob Ross. And we also want to IO inspect yo. I don't know what that is. Post. We'll probably crash. Undefined function. Join to of is undefined. Okay. Can we do this? And then con, or I think this is con, but arguments were not, the following arguments were given to join to public con and then this. So we have the con already. And then player name, streamer name. So this is the weird part. So if I add here streamer name, what is gonna happen? Can someone just overwrite? Argument error. Argument error. No foul. That's a very low level error. Kind of spoopy. Do this again. Erlang apply. Okay players. Okay Bob Ross players. Erlang apply. Okay. Map of players. Which ends here, right? So it's like tuple. Okay. Players. Okay. Bob Ross. This ends here. This ends here. Then this ends here. And then we set players to be empty array or empty list. Join to Elixir Q controller 24. Hold up, what is, hold up, IO inspect. What is streamer name here? That seems very spoopy. Because if somebody then finds out about like the internal like name, you can overwrite the, oh, so it remains just Rakats. So even if somebody, okay, that means I cannot call an argument that I'm pulling off of this streamer name anymore because it already conflicts with this. That's good. It's important. Still blows up though, but that's okay. What do we get back from here, huh? So let's send in player name, Bob Ross. Let's pull out player name here. We got argument error, but we also are logging. Okay. Players, Bob Ross. Yeah, okay. That's what we're getting. And then we're applying. Ah. So we're having nested results here. Yeah, so this is already returning us okay. PID and stuff.
Everyone, get in here!
Yo, Samuel, thank you so much for follow. Welcome, welcome. Should be fine now. Tracer encoder is not implemented for OK, Bob Ross. Wait, but we're doing the same here, no? Oh, but we're getting here is an OK. Right. No, that makes sense. What? Okay, this. We join. We assume that this could not go wrong. Where's the view call? Index adjacent, streamer ID. JSON encoder is not implemented for OK Bob Ross. What? Where is it getting that? I don't understand. Hello world. Players. How is players okay, Bob Ross? Are we adding a tuple to this? Wait, hold up. Maybe we should do some... Hey, hold up. Player name. When player name is string, can we check that? When Elixir. Okay, we should definitely do this validation. That's the only thing, pretty much. So I think... Cannot find or invoke local isString inside guard. So there is no isString. Okay. I see. So why are we calling this without... What is player name? It's almost like as if we're joining in here. And PID player name, yeah, it makes sense. Okay, let's just inspect it. Bob Ross as a string. So why is this constructed in this way? Passing the players. We know that it exists because otherwise it would have already gone wrong, so we might as well just do okay players. This is the same thing though, so I guess this call doesn't work because this players call gives you okay or okay, hold on, let's see the tests. Yeah, okay. Right. Is it one of those weird nested cases again? I don't know why this would error. Can this even error? Okay, now this should work. Do not join viewer game. 422. Okay, what went wrong? Ah. Okay, for now this is what it is. It's okay. That's what went wrong. So now this pattern should match. Error should be what it is. Cool. Can only join once. Cool. Nice. Now if we do the get call. Get post. What? Oh, they're both duplicated. What? Dang it. Fine though. So the get call should now just give me the actual players in the queue. Perfect. Nice. And if we do someone else's that doesn't exist. Yeah, ecto no results. I don't know what we're gonna do with this yet though. I think normally we render this, but I think in a normal situation we would show a normal 400 for error. That's okay. So the streamer has to exist, has to have been registered, and then we can show them the players in the queue. Cool. Yep. Let's implement leave now. Leave player name. So these endpoints need some sort of special scope. These endpoints require some sort of special scope because you will need to be registered as like an internal machine-to-machine sort of permissions. Because depending on if we trust you or not, we will tie our joins. So I guess we need to make a set of extra endpoints just to be sure. We will decide whether we have to do validation on this or not, or find the corresponding player. But let's for now just keep it to strings, not tie them to players yet. Then we can at least make the prototype work with our Twitch API bot. And then we're good to go. Okay, so leave, it's the same thing, but different. Leave queue. So what does queue say when you leave and the player does not exist? Doesn't do anything. Apply OK. Reply already in queue. Oh, okay. That's an error that could happen. Yeah, so here. But we ignore that case. And no matter what. Yeah. What do we get back though? The new state. Oh, sweet. So we don't actually have to refetch here. So if we do this properly, we can do this. And then we can say, if okay, we get the new states of players. And then we say, players is players. Otherwise, error, which could be already in queue. And then we say, just do this call. Or do we actually say error? We just say error. And then we say already in queue. We can say could not join. We can actually just forward the thing. So on error, we can just say return the error. And here we can say if error and already, oh, that's here. Already in queue, we could say player is already in queue. And then if we leave, there was no real errors that could happen. Leave queue, queues, leave queued v2, streamer name, leave. You leave, okay, new state. And so what we need here is we need okay players. And then what we can do is return that, right? No. Cool. Wait, the queue back queued up players. It's funny because we pull out the players on all of them. We could also just respond with the same ones. Okay, let's create a new request. I just want to duplicate it, but the thing is if I duplicate it, I cannot change the message, but let's do it anyways. Post leave with yo. And then we left with yo, and when we leave with yo again, it doesn't do anything. But maybe we should check in queues, because here we just do delete. Can we check if that actually was successful? List delete. List delete Elixir. Maybe there's one where it gives us okay. Delete. This gives us the new list. Because, do we actually care whether the person was in or not? This is the most performant piece. We could do a check here. But yeah, for now it doesn't really matter. We can leave the queue. We can leave now. We can say Bob Ross 2, and then it deletes it. 183 milliseconds. And it's a lot faster when it doesn't actually delete. Oh, it was just slow for once. Okay. Is this the logic that we had to recursively pick from list? No, that's different. Okay, so we have these endpoints now. What else do we have? Pick? Let's do pick. Pick should also be post, right? Yeah. Pick from queue. Streamer name. Count. Do equals to this. Find or create. Do we need to create? If you cannot pick, it should be empty, so we don't really have to create here. You can just find it. If it can find it, in the case of when it can find it, then we continue on with our job. Otherwise, return empty. Error, empty array. And here what we do is also the same thing. We get the PID, and then what we do is we do the call here. Case queues.queue pick PID count do queues queue pick amount state okay picked players. Okay, so this returns us always okay, just like the other one. And then we get the players, oops. And then what we return with is okay players. again. And here we say, okay, empty list. Oh, players, empty list. And then we add a pick endpoint. We don't need the player name. Add by slug, pick from queue, count. And so that's what we do want. We want the count. If it is there, though, we don't always want this. So what we can say is count I don't know if this works. Well, you should always pass the amount of players you want to pick, I suppose. But if you send it pick and you do it, you don't send a count. Should we just assume it's 1? Okay, anyways, you get back the players and then you just pass in the player ID, the same thing. Okay, now we need to router, register the route, pick. You're posting the count, duplicate, post, pick, question mark, count equals 5. But let's first join because otherwise won't work. So, yo. Ooh, what happened? No clause matching. Players. Bob, Ross, yo. Where is that? Join to. What did we change here? We didn't change anything here. Right? What did we change? 22. So it got players rather than OK players. Here. Oh, yeah. How are we able to join just now? Player's already in the queue. Bob Ross. Player's already in the queue. Just rock hands. Okay. Cool. Jizzra gets 2. Gets through 23. 1, 2, 3. Cool. And then if we pick 3 from that, function clause pick, GenServer where is, pick from queue, queues pick from queue, all where is, pick from queue, queues pick from queue, find streamer, you pick. GenServer where is. No function call. Wait, is it dead? Is it dead? No, it's still alive. Why is this failing? Pick amount. Pick amount. Pick from list. GenServer call. Okay, let's Google this. Okay, I need to find in what situations we get this. Are we doing an infinite loop? Count is 3. Count is not a number here. That's why. So the queue here, this should already fail. Was it is integer? Yeah, okay. This is important. Like, we need to guard that this is an int before calling it. So like, we need to make sure that this count that we have here is turned into Elixir to int. String to int Elixir. Integer parse. I don't know if there's a way for us to specify that this should be parsed as an int, but a function matching pick from queue to use streamer name, integer parse count. I inspect this. See where we get 3. What? You good night, Levra? I should go to bed too. Go work tomorrow. Gotta get up early. Why does integer parse give us such a weird value? String to integer? Oh, you can do string to integer. That makes a lot more sense. Fuck, that still doesn't work. Okay, now it's a number. Okay, still... Where is players streamer name? Pick from queues, PID pick. But the PID is not correct. Oh, wait. This is find queue by streamer name. That's not what I should be doing. I should be doing this. Yeah. Error, yeah. Cool. So now if I do a get call, they should be gone. Yeah. So I now pick the top 3. So if I clear the queue out, which I can do by, I think, if I remember correctly, IEX mix. How did I do that again? Somewhere in here. Observer. I'm not sure if it's now booted up another viewer game app or whether we're hooking into the same one, because I'm not seeing any in here. How to call observer Elixir Phoenix. Oh, nice. Cool. Observer dot, what was it? Let's start. Sweet. So now we're okay. Now obviously the queue is empty because the server restarted and there's nothing now. So let's add just a bunch of people. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I wonder if there's a dark mode for this. Now if we do a get call, there should be 9 people in the queue. Let's make it 10, right? It's easier to work with. And then if we do pick, we not have authentication because the access token still worked. Maybe I think the access token is saved in a DB. Okay, so if we now pick 3, there should be 7 left. 1, 2, and 3. So now we make a get call. There should be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to 10. Awesome. That is cool. It's really nice. Yeah. Cool. All right, we've done a lot of good work. What is the last stuff? Delete the queue. Oh, we don't have clearing the queue. So we can say delete the queue is clearing the queue. Delete, and then we remove the count, and then we do this, and then we remove this, and then we say delete. And then let's make a delete. Delete. Queue. Streamer name. Do, and we only do it when we find one queue. Does it matter when we ask the manager to kill it? We will already do a get call, so. Queue not found. That could still happen. Okay. Something doesn't really matter. Then we just say, yep, do this. And if queue not found, in all cases, really, do we want to render this? So we could just not ignore it. Let's try to delete it. If not, then we just pretend that it's deleted. Okay, so JustRocket's queue exists. Now we just duplicate tab. We do delete queue. We get empty, and now when we do another request, it says empty. Cool. And in our processes list, we also see that this is empty, but when we add stuff to the list, it will create one. If we say add 10, then there should be a process now spawned, but I don't oh yeah, it's here now. So our registry has partitions, and you can see that there's now a connection between them. Where before we didn't have that. Here's also a connection. So our pops up is also connected to this process, which we don't know what this is. GenServer loop. Oh, it's socket pull, so worker. This is supervisor. Okay. This is a Phoenix channel that we have, even though we don't use Phoenix channels yet. Then this one, did I just accidentally click terminate? Yeah, so ancestors, queue manager, queue supervisor, supervisor. Yeah. Yeah. And then this just contains, can we see what's in this registry? State, one reference. Yeah, so these two are now linked. And then if I delete them, both are deleted. Yeah, so both links are gone. Cool. That's cool. So now we've built a couple endpoints that under the hood use our queues system, and yeah, nice. So we can pick people from the queue, we can leave the queue, we can join the queue. Make another branch off of this branch. We still haven't merged it. Add API endpoints. Yes, fine. So we now have view the queue, delete the queue, pick from the queue, leave, join the queue. Is there anything else we needed? Position. Yeah, we can do position real quick. I think that's the last bit. This one can leave for now because for now we're just showing all the players. Let's do this last one, which is position. Position of one player name. Let's do this. Position of one player name, get the player, get the position for the player name. Let's check what queue is doing when you do position. For position call, we're doing reply error not found or okay. Cool. But we're just getting the position back here, right? Yeah, so the actual position. So what do we expect as a thing here? It's like queue player, queued player, player name of Ross, position 1, 2, 3. Maybe that could work. Position in queue. Streamer name, player name. This will just do get the, what would it do? Find or create the streamer. Doesn't make sense. We cannot find it. We cannot give you the position. Find or create the queue. Does not make a lot of sense either here. Join the queue makes sense. Leave the queue does not make sense. Anyhow, we can fix that. So this is the same here. And then we do position for the player name. And then we get the position back. And then if we just return that, that should be okay. Control the position here so that we don't get a queue back, we get the position back, and then in this case we do queued player, and then we return back. Oh, we don't get the player back. So if we say, whew, okay. So we get the queue PID, and then we get the position, but what does the queue give me? Just the position, not the player itself. But we found it already. In this case, we already know because you're passing the player name. Oh, we're changing pick. Hold up. Queued player, player name, and position is position. Can it go wrong? Position in queue position. Yes, it can go wrong. But in either case, I think it's fine. Because both of them return error in this case. Okay. Positioning queue. Positioning queue. Streamer name, player name, position. So what you get back. We pass the position to queue player. We add it to the queue view. Create a new view for this. Def render. Queue player.json. You pass in the streamer ID. You pass in the player name, and you pass in the position to and queued player. The streamer ID doesn't really matter because we're not using it. Player name, position. Player name. Oh, you can just say queue player. And then we just build it up from here, which is player name and position. So now we just need to add the route for it, which is get queue position, and then we're not sending the player name here. Oh, username, okay. Player name. Queue slash, this is delete. Duplicate this. Get queue position player name equals just raw cats. No. What is in queue now? Nothing. 1, 2, 3. Add player name 3. Boom. Phoenix action clause. No match for pick. A router. That doesn't make sense. Position. Do the get call. Boom. Encode not implement for con. Okay. Where is this erroring? Quit render. Queued player. I don't think we're even getting there. Use controller put render. Are we getting here or what? Three, yeah. Okay, position 3 is correct. Player name equals 3. And so for the render part, it goes wrong. Index.json queued player. Queued player, queued player. Let's just deconstruct it, like, fine. think this is not a map. That's why. And so it tries to like convert this tuple sort of thing into so if we just do streamer name, but here we deconstruct it as a map, so I'm kind of confused. Position is position. And if we do this manually like this, I think it would work. Streamer name, position. So we have this, and then this. How much classing view render 2? What was it called with? Try me again. Render queued player con. Why is it called with con, or is it always? Huh? Render con. How is this any different than what we were doing before? I don't get it. Don't really get it. Boom. Okay, let's remove this real quick. And then remove this. Is that possible? We'll probably explain it. We'll trying to render 2. Okay, this should work now. So why does this piece not work? It's exactly the same as the other one. But maybe this is like... This is what I was thinking. You get assigns here. Am I supposed to mark this as a view normally? Rendering JSON. Oh, I'm not using this as a view. Is that the problem? Probably. Why do the other ones work? That's what I don't understand. Okay, why do I get the whole con here? View template. Go ahead. I think I also got that here, but the assigns are not here. Maybe it's because it doesn't match with the, I don't know. Okay, let's see this. Oh, okay, that makes sense because I removed it. No templates. Oh, okay, so this needs to match with the actual route. Position. There we go. Well, that doesn't really work, so I need to deconstruct it because there's more stuff in there. I think this is supposed to work. Nope. Signs. Why does this first one work then? Why does the index case work? What? That's something I don't understand. Assigned keys. Player name position. Player name. Oh. Oops. Yeah, okay. There we go. This makes sense. So we don't have a view for this. Don't match with error. Yeah. So now we just want to render something here in the case of when this doesn't match. Player does not exist in queue. So here, if I do 4, I think I still get 200, yeah. So the request response status is not. It's set status. It's something that we read about before here. What status not found? Shitty thing is that we're showing 400. Sweet. All right, let's format. A lot of refactoring to do, but that's okay. We need to write some tests for this later on too, but we've learned quite a bit. Or not so much learned, but we've like tried to integrate everything now. The fact that we've already built this, all of this before, and now we're actually trying to integrate it, which is nice. Yo, Carlos, thanks so much for the follow. Which is cool. Still have a lot to learn. There's a lot to learn in terms of like structuring and like what sort of abstractions are useful and which ones are like kind of useless. This stuff, for example, seems to be like very redundant and stuff that you can probably handle with some sort of middleware. But yeah, there's a lot of shit to learn. But for now, you know, it works. And as long as we get tests in and we learn together on like how to properly abstract some of the things or how we're gonna move some modules around, as long as we have those like tests at the edges, so like end-to-end or like API tests in this case, we can just test the behavior on the API level, and then we can change all the internals and we can just make sure that that's still working. So something I would highly recommend is like, if you're not super familiar with the language yet, try to invest a lot in tests, because like if you're building something that's gonna last, and if you're building something that's not gonna last, then you just throw it out. But if you're building something that you want to last, you just bombard it with tests. First of all, you through testing, you also learn a lot about like the internals and the code, because sometimes writing the tests themselves is already a learning experience. But if you write the tests and you write them at the edge, enough at the edge that you can like unit tests for when you don't really know what you're doing is not super helpful, because you might just change a lot of abstractions around anyways. And so like all of those structs that you've set up or all those modules that you've set up might change in terms of the naming or their interfaces or like the structure that you're gonna be playing with. So it might be helpful to just move the tests out a little further out, a little bit more to the slower side of things, the more integration side of, or the more end-to-end side of things, so that as you learn to abstract stuff, or as you learn to what the conventions are, like what the pros and what the cons are, you have yourself covered, that you know your app that you have running live in production is still working, even though you're making changes and you're learning day to day. Like some of the mistakes that you've made in the beginning are stuff that you want to work on later. So some of the stuff that I made, that I have unit tested, are now sort of useless because I have an API test written that is heavily reliant on DB, because my initial thought was that was what this was going to be. But now I just want to pivot from that idea and just continue on going. So I have this API test here that if you hit the index endpoint, and you create a player, 3 of them in fact, if you have 3 players join the queue, that we show them in this list. And that's cool, but this test is now useless because we're not reading them from the DB and the schema is different. We can map them, maybe, but yeah, it's a question of whether this test is going to be relevant. I think we can change some of the works a little bit, but yeah. I also wonder if I disable the authorization header, will it still work? No, nice. Cool. Yeah, it's all part of the authorization middleware. Cool, okay. Let's commit this, let's push it, and let's call it a day. It's not my prettiest of code, but that's okay. You know, we're learning. That's all good. Let's move this thing down one line. Split them up. Streamer. Cool. Lot to commit. Adds all API endpoints and implement them using our new registry, our new GenServer queue. Cool, push it. And then maybe off stream, I'll just get some of these things merged. And then I think in the next stream, ones for the queue related functionality. Let's copy what we have here. And I think from this point on, I think what we can do is start focusing on getting the infrastructure ready and prepping it for our first deployment. And then see if we can continue to work on it with small PRs and continuous, like a whole deployment pipeline. See if we can get that working. Would be cool. Maybe we can learn a bit of Terraform, spinning up a machine, deploying it, setting up the infra. Could be kind of something cool to learn. But for now, it's over. If you are watching the stream, I mean, it's not the most exciting, but every Wednesday we do Tech Wednesdays, which includes these sorts of programming streams. It could also be soldering, electrical engineering, Arduino stuff. Who knows, maybe in the future, car mechanics streams, I don't know. Anything tech. And so if you like to see these sorts of streams, come by every Wednesday. If you want to see all the other streams that we've done, I upload all of them after the stream, probably a day after, on the coding YouTube channel, which is just Cats or just Code Cats on YouTube. So check that out if you are interested. I also have my coding Twitter, I think. I don't know if that command works. Yes, it does. Which is more like my coding / tech sort of Twitter account, so that I could meet more people on there, and my coworkers don't have to follow my stream related Twitter account where I post all the bullshit. So I just have like more of a coding centered Twitter account. Cool. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. If you're on the YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, and see you next Wednesday.